hours of work, as even on Earth is perhaps the case with the ants.
Whoopsie.
In the next place,
I think we're on here, you all. Let me see if I can log on to my own YouTube channel. Okay, it shows me live, so we're in good luck. Let me do this. I got to get over here. We're gonna do it. I was reading the War of the Worlds. Well, I wasn't reading it. I opened it up and I turned to this part and it talked about microorganisms, and then it started talking about the Martians. Yeah, hold on. Okay, I got it. We can do this. We can. Okay, watch it. See, and I'm gonna play it. I'm going to start the book. And you know, if you look down here at this picture on the bottom, this came from public broadcasting. Down there at the bottom, a picture of what the Martians really look like. But we're going to listen to it. You won't see my mouth moving. I'm going to be sitting here. I'm going to be looking. But I want you to listen to it because I think there's something really strange happening. I really do. Welcome. Now let me do this. Okay, I am public. Okay, you all can talk whenever you want. We got 15, 19 people watching. I'm going to push this broadcast. I'm going to play it. We're going to listen to it. I'm going to listen with you.
I want to read from the H.G. Wells, The War of the Worlds. I thought, I'm going to have another podcast. And I opened this book up, and I came to page 189, but I had read something about micro...
Oh, Lord, no. No, Gina. No. Hold... Oh. Hold on, you all. I had sped this up to 2.0. I got to come over here. I've got to come over here and lower the speed. I cannot believe I did that. It's okay. I know what I did. I did it to 2.0. I've got to bring it down to the speed. I got to make it... We got to see if we can get this going. We got some real live time blips. Let's see if I can do it, because I can't be talking that fast. It's too fast for me, you all. Let's going to see it. This might be the right speed. We got to just try it. Okay, we can do it. You're just tuning in, welcome. Let me turn this on here. If it can happen and mess up, then it's going to do it. That's okay, y'all. I'm up here in the top. Hold on. Let me see if I got this. Okay. I'm going to turn this on. Okay, I'm going to see. Let's see if we got it right this time. Let's look at it.
The War of the Worlds. I thought, I'm going to have enough.
It's perfect. Okay, you all. And just having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we're going to listen to it now. I think it's going to work. We're going to do it. Now, let me show you where it's coming from. It's coming from this book right here. Let me make myself really big. That way, if you're just tuning in, Gina, what are you doing? Well, this is what I'm doing. War of the Worlds. And right there, from that part right there, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to be, that's what I'm going to do, but it's going to be really quiet. Hold on. just gonna stick myself right here and be quiet. So we can do it. Okay. Okay. Okay, we got it. Hey there, Ducky. I seen that. I seen that. I seen it.
I want to read from the H.G. Wells The War of the Worlds. I thought, I'm going to have another podcast. And I opened this book up, and I came to page...
No! No! This sounds really creepy, you all. I don't think something wants me to get this out. Because you know what those Martians do? They drink the blood of men. We gotta listen to it. Mm-mm. We're gonna try it again. I'm gonna keep trying it. It's okay.
I want to read from the H.G. Wells The War of the Worlds. I thought, I'm going to have another podcast. And I opened this book up, and I came to page 189, but I had read something about microorganisms. But I thought, I'm going to go to the beginning of that chapter. And so we're going to start right there. 2. What we saw from...
That's not me. What have they done to my voice? That's not me in there, you all. Oh my gosh. Mm-mm. Listen, you all. I don't know what's going on, but that's not my voice on there. That's somebody else's voice, but I was reading the book, and all I wanted to do is when I was recording it, I saved it so I could put it on here and play it on here. But when I saved it, my voice is different. This is wild. I don't know what's happening. This is really, really strange. Let me go up to... I'm going to see if my voice has changed. You hang on. You hold on. Okay, I'm going to turn it on.
I want to read from the H.G. Wells The War of the Worlds. I thought, I'm going to have another podcast. And I opened this book up, and I came to page 189, but I had read something.
Okay, that does not sound like me, and now I've just had a deja vu of hearing that voice. I had a deja vu from years ago, probably a few years ago, of hearing that voice. You all, this is creepy. What did they do to my voice? I'm just going to let you listen to it. I don't know. They did something to my voice. Hey. Now listen. I saved it in the lower... I saved it at a 2.0 speed. Is what happened. And then I brought it over here. And it was playing at a 2.0. But I slowed it down, and then it turned my voice into a masculine's voice. I went, and I'm going to put it, I'm just going to let's see it, try it again. This is really, really strange. Okay, I'm going to go back, and I'm going to put it at the speed that I think it should be at. Let's put it at 100 and see if I sound different. Okay, they're going to try it again, you all. You got to bear with me. This is driving me batty.
I want to read from the H.G. Wells, The War of the Worlds. I thought, I'm going to have another podcast. And I opened this book up, and I came to page 189, but I had read something about microorganisms. But I thought, I'm going to go to the beginning of that chapter. And so we're going to start right there. 2. What we saw from the ruined house. After eating, we crept back to the scullery, and there I must have dozed again.
She's going to listen to it.
I want to read from the H.G. Wells The War of the Worlds. I thought, I'm going to have another podcast. And I opened this book up, and I came to page 189, but I had read something about microorganisms. But I thought, I'm going to go to the beginning of that chapter. And so we're going to start right there.
Okay. Okay, you're going to have to listen to it like this. They've done something to my voice. Okay. They've done something to my voice when I saved it in 2-speed mode, and then I come over here to the OBS studio, and I didn't realize I saved it in 2.0, so I put it back to 1.0. And now my voice sounds like a masculine's voice. So, hello. I know I recorded it at the wrong speed. Do you want to hear it at the wrong speed? Or do you want to hear my voice, or you want to hear that AI masculine voice? Yes. I'm an AI. I'm a man now. There are only 2 sexes in the United States. It's male and female is what there is, right? Male and female. I cannot believe this. Maybe, just maybe, I can go, what can I do? I don't know what I can do. You're just going to have to listen to it in the male's voice. Who are they? I don't know who they are. Maybe this is how they do it. I want you all to know that I'm slowing it down. I had sped it up on my one thing over here so I could, let me see this, you all. Let me make a window screen. I want you all to see what I got going on. I've got this thing it's creeping me out. I want to do a window share. I want to show you where I was reading it. And it's me. There I am reading it. But I'm going to come over here. I'm going to see if I can put this at the normal speed. What speed did I set it at? 2.
I want to read from the H.G. Wells, The War of the Worlds.
See, when it came over to the whatever, that's not me. I want to put it at the normal speed. 1.0. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this one. I'm going to put it at a 1.0. Can y'all see it? Maybe I can just play it.
Lay now far beneath the original.
Gina, honey, come on. I want to play it at the normal speed. This is really strange, but they changed my voice. I've got to do it. I am so sorry. It's Friday night, and are we in Mercury retrograde or something?
But I guess
Because I don't know what's happening. They've manipulated my voice in that OBS studio. I can't.
or ask for other expedients to this.
I did it at that speed. I'm going to go to this tools.
Almost all the joints.
Okay, yeah, I think I might be able to get it. I do. I think I might be able to. Maybe. Let me just save the project. I'm just going to save my project. Okay, can I look at you all? Yeah, I'm AI. This is what gets myself in trouble. So I'm going to see if I can shrink me down. I'm going to shrink myself down right there. I'm going to put me, my window there. Let's see if I can play it like this to see if we can hear anything when this thing is playing. I'm going to try it, you all. Okay? Yeah, because my live chat has completely stopped. But you see, when you're on here, you can't just give up. You gotta keep going. So that's what I'm going to do. I got the window capture. I'm going to put the video capture on there and put me on here too. And I am see if I can play that audio over here and we can hear it over here. Okay. So I want to see. Oh.
I want to read from the H.G. Wells, The War of the Worlds. I thought, I'm going to have another podcast.
Okay, I got it. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. I've got it. We can do this. There's a workaround. Okay. We're going to read it now, you all. We can do it together. I'm not going to interrupt no more. We got it. We got it.
I want to read from the H.G. Wells, The War of the Worlds. I thought, I'm going to have another podcast. And I opened this book up, and I came to page 189, but I had read something about microorganisms. But I thought, I'm going to go to the beginning of that chapter. And so we're going to start right there. 2. What we saw from the ruined house. After eating, we crept back to the scullery, and there I must have dozed again, for when presently I looked around, I was alone. The thundering vibration continued with wearisome persistence. I whispered for the curate several times, and at last felt my way to the door of the kitchen. It was still daylight, and I perceived him across the room lying against a triangular hole that looked out upon the Martians. His shoulders were hunched so that his head was hidden from me. I could hear a number of noises almost like those in an engine shed, and the place rocked with a beating thud. Through the aperture in the wall, I could see the top of a tree touched with gold and the warm blue of a tranquil evening sky. For a moment or so, I remained watching the curate, and then I advanced, crouching and stepping with extreme caution amid the broken crockery that littered the floor. I touched the curate's leg, and he started so violently that a mass of plaster went sliding down the outside and fell with a loud impact. I gripped his arm, fearing he might cry out, and for a long time we crouched motionless. Then I turned to see how much of our rampart remained. The detachment of the plaster had left a vertical slit open in the debris, and by raising myself cautiously across a beam, I was able to see out of this gap into what had been overnight a quiet suburban roadway. Vast indeed was the change that we beheld. The fifth cylinder must have fallen right into the middle of the house we had first visited.
The building had vanished, completely smashed, pulverized, and disappeared by the blow. The cylinder lay now far beneath the original foundations, deep in a hole already vastly larger than the pit that I had looked into at Woking. The earth all around it had splashed under the tremendous impact. Splashed is the only word, and lay in heaped piles that hid the masses of the adjacent houses. It had behaved exactly like mud under the violent blow of a hammer. Our house had collapsed backwards. The front portion, even on the ground floor, had been destroyed completely. By a chance, the kitchen and the scullery had escaped, and stood buried now under soil and ruins, closed in by tons of earth on every side save toward the cylinder. Over the aspect we hung now, on the very edge of the great cylinder pit, the Martians were engaged in making. The heavy beating sound was evidently just behind us, and over and ever again a bright green vapor drove up like a veil across the peephole. The cylinder was already opened in the center of the pit, and on further edge of the pit, amid the smashed and gravel-heaped shrubbery, one of the great fighting machines, deserted by its occupant, stood stiff and tall against the evening sky. At first I scarcely noticed the pit and the cylinder, although it has been convenient to describe them first on an account of the extraordinary glittering mechanism that I saw busy in the excavation, and on account of the strange creatures that were crawling slowly and painfully across the heap mowed near it. The mechanism, it certainly was that held my attention first. It was one of these complicated fabrics that have since been called handling machines, and the study of which has already given such an enormous impetus to terrestrial invention. As it dawned upon me first, it presented a sort of metallic spider with 5 jointed, agile legs, and with an extraordinary number of jointed levers, bars, and reaching and clutching tentacles about its body. Most of its arms were retracted, but with 3 long tentacles, it was fishing out a number of rod plates and bars which lined the covering of the apparently strengthened the walls of the cylinder, and these, as it extracted them, were lifted out and deposited upon a level surface of earth behind it. Its motion was so swift, complex, and perfect that at first I did not see it as a machine, in spite of its metallic glitter. The fighting machines were coordinated and animated to an extraordinary pitch, but nothing to compare with this. People who have never seen these structures and have only the ill-imagined efforts of artists or the imperfect descriptions of such eyewitnesses as myself to go upon, scarcely realize that living quality. I recall particularly the illustration of one of the first pamphlets to give a consecutive account of the war. The artist had evidently made a hasty study of one of the fighting machines, and there his knowledge ended. He presented them as a tilted, stiff tripod without either flexibility or subtlety, or subtly, and with an altogether misleading monotony of effect. The pamphlet containing these renderings had a considerable vogue, and I mention them here. The artist had evidently made a hasty study of one of the fighting machines, and there his knowledge ended. He presented them as tilted, stiff tripods without either flexibility or subtlety, I can't even pronounce that word, and with an altogether misleading monotony of effect. The pamphlet containing these renderings had a considerable vogue, and I mention them here simply to warn the reader against the impression that they may have created. They were no more like the Martians I saw in action than a Dutch doll is like a human being. To my mind, the pamphlet would have been much better without them. At first, I say, the handling machine did not impress me as a machine, but as a crab-like creature with a glittering and integument. The controlling Martian, whose delicate tentacles actuated its movements, seeming to be simply but equivalent of the crab's cerebral portion. But then I perceived the resemblance of its gray-brown, shiny, leathery integument to that of other sprawling bodies beyond, and the true natures of this dexterous workman dawned upon me. With that realization, my interest shifted to those other creatures, the real Martians. Already I had a transient impression of these, and the first nausea no longer obscured my observation. Moreover, I was concealed and I paused it because he's getting ready to describe the Martians. Or she's getting ready. That's me. Let me do this. Why am I saying he's? This is weird. This is really weird. Okay, it's him in the book. He's getting ready to describe the Martians. And when I was looking at this is from PBS. Let's see if you all can see this over here. Let me do another window capture. And I can't do that window capture. I'm going to do another window capture because this is kind of boring reading it, but I wanted to get to the part where they're going to be talking about the Martians. And this right here, look at this. This is PBS. What's the matter with Mars? These are actual things that they wrote, but this image, like at the top of it, let me see if I can put my video capture. This image right here that's what the Martians are. They're like a great big brain with tentacles. It's I'm trying to move it over here, you. It's a great big brain with tentacles. Let me do this. See, here's the signal from Mars. March in 2-step. Look at that. How long ago was that? 1901 piano piece. A signal from Mars. If this is 1901, a signal from Mars, when was the War of the Worlds? Does anybody know when the War of the Worlds was read? It surely wasn't 1901. Was that the first mention of Mars at that time? I didn't know they had a book from way back then that predated the War of the Worlds. Did you all know it? Yeah. I didn't know it at all. That's what's really, really, really strange. Let me lead you this right here. Let me see if I can get that over here, you all.